And welcome to HopCast.
Thanks for joining us again, everybody.
I'm Brad Chmielewski.
As always, my name is Ken Hunnemeder.
And special guest.
Oh, we got his mother good. It's our good buddy Steve Wyatt.
How are you?
Affectionately termed Steve fucking Wyatt, or SFW. So
welcome,
you can refer
welcome
to him as such.
Yes, please.
Just see him
I
on
only
the street.
answered that name, and I will not respond to anything else.
So today we thought we'd bring a local focus to the HopCast. We're going to do some Chicago-only beers.
Yeah.
So this is going to be kind of fun.
Yeah, and these are both very limited Chicago beers too. They're not even just on the shelf everywhere, and you can only get them in Chicago. They were on the shelf and they are gone now, right?
They're on the shelf and they're there for a very short amount of time. With that said, we are doing the Double Daisy Cutter from Half Acre. Half Acre, obviously known very well for their Daisy Cutter. Nice West Coast style pale ale. It's about 5%. This is just an amped up version of that.
And this is their second time doing it.
I believe so, yeah. And then next we have the newest of breweries to open up here in Chicago, and they're actually just right down the street from where we are right now, and that's Pipeworks. So they're a little, very, very small nano brewery.
Yeah, they're self-distributing, right?
They are.
How long have they been open now?
Probably only a few months.
Since they got their license.
with releases
and, yeah.
of beers and stuff, yeah. So they went through, like everybody else, the whole big hurdles of trying to get legal stuff out of the way and all that.
Much tougher than actually brewing the beer.
Yes.
If you were on the breweries, you got a special treat.
A little sneak peek, yeah. And so this is their End of Days, which is a milk stout that they incorporate some cocoa nibs and some vanilla beans, cinnamon, and ancho chilies into. So, pretty interesting beer.
Well, you think we should start with the Double Daisy?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. And with the dessert?
Exactly. So let's get ready for some hops.
That poured out clearer than I was expecting.
Well, yeah, I think that may be because we had a cask at one of our events that we've thrown. Well, every once in a while we'll do a HopCast and beer mapping. Shut up! Cask night at Small Bar in Fullerton. Shut up! And we had a cask of double Daisy Cutter, and that one was. Shut up!
We're not doing that anymore?
You're on your head foot. You're thinking. That one was fairly cloudy, but I think the regular production batch, they've kind of
Cleaned it up or filtered it.
Yeah, and you never know how casks are handled, so sometimes it takes a while for that stuff to settle down.
Okay.
But this is looking, nice orange, amber type hues to it.
All right, we had a nice head that kind of settled down on us now.
Mm-hmm. And where this beer is really going to hit you is on the nose.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't think I need to drink this. I think I'm just going to sit here and smell it for
Yeah.
the rest of the HopCast.
Can I just get a potpourri of this beer?
There's a lot of hops, but there's also a nice toasty malt character that blends in with that as well.
I think the scent that hits me the most isn't the hops and the malt, it's the fruit in it.
Right? Mm-hmm. And the aroma profile is very much akin to just the regular Daisy Cutter. You can tell that it's kind of the same hop profile, just maybe a little amped up version.
Yeah. Cheers. Let's give it a try.
Cheers. Absolutely.
Oh man.
Very very fruity hop character. You're gonna get kind of a toasty malt note to it that really rounds that out. But it's not one of those malt characters that's kind of lingering and way too sweet.
No.
That's one of my pet peeves with really hoppy beers is when they have that
too malty and too sweet.
Too much. So it's too much hops and too much malt at that point.
Yeah, and this doesn't even have that, or the taste doesn't have that much hop. It doesn't dry out your palate and just be a punch in the face of hops.
There's a shitload of hops, but it's not the bitterness.
Yeah.
You get a lot of that flavor and aroma. It's plenty bitter, but
it's a good, well-rounded beer. and I think that's what Half Acres does really well. It's like they're not just throwing these beers at you. They're like, here's the stout, here's the IPA, here's the big beer.
Mm-hmm.
They craft really well balanced beers.
I think what struck me the most about it is the balance of the fruit flavor with the hops.
Yeah, very, very much. They're using some of these more citrusy, fruity hop varietals that are going to give you that, which is it makes this beer really, really well drinkable and just very refreshing actually for a beer that's this hoppy.
I can't decide what I like more, drinking it or smelling it.
Yeah,
I'm going with drinking it.
But what, this came out a month ago, maybe?
Yeah,
about this?
a month or two.
Yeah, so it's a good, like, I don't know if I'd want to drink this in the summertime. I'd rather have the regular Daisy Cutter, but this is good, like, springtime. It's kind of warming up, and you have that alcohol. It's kind of...
Yeah, this one's at 8%, whereas regular Daisy is about 5%. And that being just like straight ahead pale ale, 5%, West Coast style, a little hoppier than some of the typical pale ales that you find, especially around the Midwest.
So for a beer ignoramus, what distinguishes a West Coast pale ale from a conventional pale ale?
Glad that you asked, Steve. So, like, West Coast styles are going to have, like, just a lot more hops. That's what they're used to out there. Their pale ales, their IPAs are just a little bit more heavy-handed with the hops as opposed to some of the stuff that we're accustomed to out here in the Midwest. So, say, here's the West Coast, and then here's England. You've got English IPAs, which are very balanced with that hop and malt character. And as you go further and further and further west, it just gets hoppier and hoppier and hoppier and hoppier. So
when you're drinking beers in California, you're pouring out hops.
That's right. It tends to get pretty brutal out there sometimes with beers like, names with palate wrecker and that type of thing. So
for being a West Coast, it's surprisingly balanced in terms of the hop flavor.
it is, and that's what I appreciate. I mean, I go out to the West Coast quite frequently, and they have some great IPAs out there, but they have a lot of those that we were talking about before, where it's just, it's a lot of hops, but it's a lot of just kind of muddy malt, and this one is just sings a little bit more.
Yeah, very
sometimes
balanced.
it's like eating really spicy food. Like sometimes it's way too spicy. Like you want to taste the food. I want to taste the beer.
Right.
Yeah. Cross the pain to taste threshold.
Yeah. Like there's that perfect point, and the Double Daisy Cutter and Daisy Cutter are kind of like right in there.
Absolutely. So they've done a fantastic job with Daisy Cutter in and of itself, and then being able to do the double version of it every once in a while is always fun. So.
And they're always doing different things over there. They got like the Callow knife or Callaway.
Callow Knife. Another IPA. They have a lot of different IPAs that they experiment with.
And it's close to Daisy Cutter. They're just kind of changing up the hops sometimes, but they're doing what, every week is a new beer, or every 2 weeks
Something
is a
like
new
that.
beer.
They're on a schedule.
And then one's bottled and one's tap only. So
usually when they have those bottled releases, it's like on a 12 o'clock on a Wednesday, and they still have a line down the block. Like,
wow.
Don't you people work?
They do, but they have the priorities straight.
And they're expanding too, so
they are.
Be making more beer and having more room to taste beer and.
Yeah, they're kind of like in a residential neighborhood type of street area. If you've ever been up there, in the North Center neighborhood of Chicago, and right on Lincoln Avenue, and they're slowly just like taking up storefronts and knocking chiropractors out of like, their offices and just taking over and
Like,
that type of thing.
Here's some beer. Give us your space.
Hey, you can do this over there. We need this. So hopefully they'll just like take up all of these different things and eventually just have your whole half-acre block.
I like it.
And isn't a block a half mile?
Yeah.
So it's the half-acre, half-mile.
Ooh, so you could
I like that.
They could run it. They're big bikers, so they'll bike around.
Yeah.
Copyright that name before they figure it out.
I got it. HopCast owns it. We want beer.
Well, I think we got some food to pair around here with this Daisy Cutter, but we may be out of Daisy Cutter. Or double
Yeah,
Daisy.
we drink it too fast.
A testament to the quality of the beer.
But regardless, we'll finish up and move on to the Pipeworks.
All right, the hops are gone. We're gonna have to stout it up.
Yes, and this will certainly not lack any sort of flavor that we're going to be craving, because this is a pretty big milk stout, so going to be a little bit on the sweeter note. We've got cocoa nibs, vanilla beans, cinnamon, and ancho chili, so there's quite a lot going on here.
Damn.
Wow.
And I've never had any of their beers. They've been at festivals. I know they've been at Stout Fest like the last 3 years, but I've never gone
2-3 years.
I've never gone to Stout Fest. I don't know. So I've never had any of their beers.
You have never gone to Stout Fest.
Yeah.
I find that very hard to
Never
believe.
worked out. I've met the guys a number of times, just never had their beers.
Never been to Stout Fest. All right, so let's crack this bad boy open.
Here we go.
That's dark. I think it's dark as you can get. You can't see through that. Or yours looks lighter in that glass.
Yeah, in this glass I get a little bit of the brown on the edges there, and even pouring it out, it wasn't like super motor oily. Just a nice hearty dark stout.
Like a tan head, a little like.
Yeah, you cannot see through this.
Nothing too fluffy or anything, but it's a nice head.
Got a nice tingle from that the ancho chilies on the nose.
We got a HopCast caller.
1-800-HopCast.
Phone in. What do you think of this beer?
That's my fault. I apologize to our viewers.
I think I've heard
And I intend to give whoever is calling me right now a stern talking to when I call them back.
I think you should just give him a swirly.
But yeah, there's a lot going on there that I almost can't pick out one
as
thing.
you keep delving deeper into the beer, I mean, you start picking up the vanilla for sure.
Cocoa.
The cinnamon comes out. You get a slight bit of a roast character, but it's a lot of that more of a creamy stout than a super big roasty stout.
Coconut was the first flavor I noticed when I smelled it.
Absolutely. Well,
and there's a lot of carbonation there, just shaking it up. And, but, all right, let's try it.
Yeah, it looks nice on the side of the glass here.
Oh wow, wasn't what I was expecting.
Oh boy.
Got kind of like a nice bready, creamy vanilla character, with the finish being that of the chocolate and the cinnamon and the chilies.
Yeah, the chilies at the end really bring out this spice. Like it kind of kicks in there. You get the little heat finish.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. I think this is really, really tasty. I mean, this is their second release. Their first release was an IPA of sorts. I had not had the opportunity of trying it. But this is quite nice. I heard a lot of good things about the IPA.
Okay. Yeah, I know they're slowly releasing them on the shelf. They're self-distributing, so it's kind of like once they're there, they're gone, just because that's the nature of Chicago beer culture right now. It's a new thing on the shelf. It's gone that day.
It's gone.
I noticed for me the flavor went from chocolate to vanilla to coconut to the chilies on the finish, but it's a very noticeable shift in flavor as you drink it.
It's not super spicy with the chilies, but you get, just kind of some of the
touch of
fruity
heat
characters.
at the end of it, yeah.
And in the back of your mouth or in the back of your throat, you're gonna get a little bit of just a spicy heat. It's kind of cool.
Not what I was expecting at all, but
yeah,
very.
It's nice that
flavor.
progression, because it's not just the bleh, here you go.
certainly not a
Here's
one-note
everything
beer.
at once. Yeah. It's a noticeable progression from one flavor to the next. It's not, like you say, a mishmash of flavors.
And then what's this, like 6.5% or 6%?
6%.
Okay.
Which is also impressive. I mean, you got a lot of things going on in a beer that's only 6%.
Yeah.
Really, really cool beer. But cheers to those guys. I mean, this is great work.
Yeah, and then they have 4 beers now, or 3 beers?
Something like that.
Yeah, so I don't know if they have a plan to do staples, or if they're just kind of rolling whatever
I thought they were
want.
just kind of making beers, and maybe they
See what happens.
revisit some, maybe, but
They don't have a 3-1-2 or a Gossamer or something else, a staple of a microbrewer, and then doing others on the side.
There's no flagship beer.
I see.
I don't think.
And that could be because they're the nano brewery and they don't want to have that demand for like, why can't I get end of days? Like,
it's gonna be tough because they are so small. I mean, this is like, if you look at this is a beer that's actually carbonated in the bottle, like any other home brewer would do it. They're not force carbonating at the brewery. So this is like truly like grassroots operation type of thing. So
so that could lead to imperfections in the beer, right? If you one bottle to another bottle.
Certainly could. But hopefully they can keep up that consistency. This is the second bottle that I've had, and it tastes exactly the same. Okay. Really good stuff. So,
well, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying to get more of their stuff if I see it. Mm-hmm. I have to go to the store twice a day.
But yeah, so nice work from our local guys here in Chicago. We got Half Acre and Pipeworks and all the other great brewers here in Chicago too. So
if you're not here, sorry. Be jealous.
It is an exciting time to be a beer drinker in Chicago.
It absolutely is.
For amateurs such as myself as well.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching.